Hello, everyone. It's your girl Jennifer Denny, aka the Black Honey Badger. I am back with another one of my blog posts. Today, I'll be reading to you the post titled Our Roles in Our Society. Here we go. Our roles in our society. As children, we were taught our roles in life as well as in society. Women were the homemakers, mothers, wives. Men were the hunter gatherers, the protectors, and providers. As the women's liberation movement changed women's roles, we now had the choice to be anything we wanted: stay at home or work, have kids early or wait. The options were limitless for us. But what about the men in our lives? They were still stuck in the same protector slash provider roles. Our feelings as women are always validated. Our needs, whether we meet them ourselves or have someone in our lives meet them, they are met. If you're on a ship and it's going down, what do you usually hear? Women and children first. Not that we shouldn't be protected because we are biologically the weaker sex. But on this earth, we are all human and we all experience pain, hurt, loss, and anger. Why is it that women's feelings are validated, but a man has to buck up, act like a man, and if he doesn't act like our definition of a man, then he's not one? If we can redefine ourselves into what we want to be, why can't they? Have you ever asked a man what he wanted, how he feels, what his motivations and desires are? Let me answer that for you. No. Why? Because no one cares what a black man wants. We want to use him for our purposes, protection, provision, and then not care for what he needs. If two children are playing outside, one a little boy and one a little girl, and they both and are hurt and crying, the parent of the little girl will go to her and pick her up and kiss her boo boo, while the boy's parents tell him to stop crying and be a man. Think about being a little boy who hurt himself and he's depending on God, mama, to make him feel better. This world is hard enough for black men as it is. Why do we have to make it worse? Whiteists are doing what they can to keep the black man down, while they are slightly elevating the black women because we are no threat to them. They are doing what they can to eliminate the real threat: black men. As women, we are protected and insulated as little girls. How are boys and men being treated? Think about your grade school physical education class. When I think about it, I remember seeing the boys in my class being treated more harshly, forced to run farther, jump higher, and push themselves even more than I. Why? I've always thought that we treat boys tougher because the world is hard and we want to make them tough so they can handle the trials and tribulations of the world. But I believe that it's generational. Your father was treated that way, and his father before him, and his father before him. The issues that we face as a collective need all of our efforts to be resolved. There have been divisive measures used on us in the past that are still being used today. In order for us to fight and win the very much needed justice we deserve, it's going to take all of us. Black men and women united in fighting our oppression, working at it full time. We need to come together and stop attacking each other. Stop blaming each other for the ills of our community. Whether we like it or not, we need each other. We need to begin to reconsider gender roles. Again, as I said earlier, we as women have had the opportunity to be whatever we want. Black men have not. There needs to be a discussion as to how we assign roles in our society. Have you ever wondered how the gender roles were initially assigned? Where did we get the idea that the man is the protector slash provider and the woman to be the homemaker? It is through acculturation. Basically, someone told us the roles and we followed them. But do the people who propagate this culture, i.e., white people, do so for our benefit and growth? Does this work for us? If the answer to these questions is no, then why are we still following them? Why can't we make, create, and maintain our own rules in our society? Let's come together and create something for our collective that works. We can do it. We are the only ones who can. Our black men are willing to put their lives on the line to protect and defend us. What are we willing to do for them? How do we value and appreciate them? How can we show them that we love them no matter what? There are psychoses and a sense of division in the black community. It stems from slavery. Slavery is where the family was separated. The men were beaten, maimed, put on breeding farms, while the women were raped and beaten, and both were made to work long hours with little rest and small portions of food. When are we going to stop the infighting and begin to fight the real enemy? The enemy is not the black man. Black feminists will have you believe that the black man is your enemy. He is not. They will also lead you to believe that there is no reason to respect our men. That again is also false. I understand that you only really respect what you fear, but instead of downplaying their pain or ridiculing them for not being able to do what you can do, or elevate and move how you move, applaud them for what they can do. Stop listening to the statistics of the fatherless child or single mothers. While there is a grain of truth to the fact that at one point in time we face single parenthood, but there are men who are being fathers to their children. Do you believe we are marginalized? If the answer is yes, then what do you believe is happening to the black man? If it is difficult for us to get jobs, while it really hasn't been, it is even tougher for them to get ahead. I've seen it myself. I have two friends who were looking for work, both black, one male and one female. They both interviewed for the same job. They both have a massive amount of experience and education in their chosen field, and they both gave fantastic interviews. The black male is well spoken, has an established mastery of the English language, and has proven tips and tricks when it comes to interviewing that actually work. I've used them myself and have gotten jobs. He is friendly and personable and can make anyone completely comfortable. However, my female friend got the position. It's not that I'm unhappy for my female friend or that I am, in essence, bashing black women. I just feel that as a marginalized community, the black woman is celebrated and lauded. Hashtag Black Girls Rock. Hashtag Black Girl Magic, right? As it should be. Who is a child's first teacher? Mama. When one of our sons get drafted into the NBA or the NFL, who is it that he thanks? Mama. Meanwhile, it was daddy who got up at 5 in the morning to go to work and make sure that the son had enough to eat, a place to sleep, and sports gear. It was daddy who took him to all of his games, whether at home or away. It was daddy who spawned the love of the sport into him in the first place. And if you are like me and your biological dad wasn't there, it was uncles, stepdaddies, older cousins who were there. So if your child grew up in a single parent household and their bio dad was not there, I know for a fact there was at least one male role model who was. And as a black woman, I love black men, even the ones who aren't the best of us. Why do you ask? Because only a black man can understand when you walk into a store and you get those stares and you are told buy and get out. He not only knows how that feels, but he also knows how to comfort you, how to make you feel better. No one knows what we go through like a black man. Can he whisk you off to Turks and Caicos and give you the wedding moon of your dreams? Probably not. But he can make you feel like a queen and romance you in your own home, saving you some money. He is innovative in his love for you. He, like you, knows how to make a dollar stretch. Even if he doesn't have a job, he's got to hustle. While you hope it's legal, you know that he will do anything for his family. But we have been sold a bill of goods by the feminists. We have been made to believe that the black man is our enemy, that we only need to rely on ourselves to make it pop. And not to knock your hustle, but for those of you that are independent women, rely on only yourself, depend on only yourself. How's that working for you? Are you really relying on only yourself? I also know that fathers who may not be there physically are there financially. So you have kids and you work full time, and some of you may even go to school. I think that's wonderful that you're doing the most for your kids, but baby girl, you are not on your own. I know at night it may feel that way, but somewhere in your life, There is a black man helping you. It may not be the way you want it, but he's there. Whether he's the old man that will fix your car for a six-pack and a meal, the guy who's in college full time and watches your kids for you for less than what daycare or after school care would charge, the uncle or cousin that will take your kids to the park while you study for finals. Someone was there. None of us are an island. And while you hear women say, I don't need a man to complete me, everyone needs a partner. Who knows better what we go through as black women than black men? I have another question for you. Who first had you believing that black men ain't shit? Where I first saw it was the movies. Those movies that I mean, those movies I mean, the ones that show black men walking with their pants hanging off them, sit on the porch all day drinking, doing drugs, etc. While these stereotypes are real, they are not all of the story. And while the directors of such stories were black, they had to have the money to make these films. And where do you believe they got the resources to produce such work? That's right. From the whitest who wanted this message to be portrayed across the world of how the black collective acts. But in all honesty, who are they to tell us how to act? Who are they to dictate our actions? And who are they to tell us our men ain't shit? I want to pose another question to you. The feminist movement blames the patriarchy for the problems that women are facing today. Who started the feminist movement? Also, when have black men ever lorded over us, made us do anything we really didn't want to do? Black men are not the enemy. If all things being racially equal, black men would do what they have been born to do, protect and provide and make this world what we wanted it to be. Again, I mentioned my friend. He asked me one day, what if Dr. Frank Cress Welsing had written the ISIS papers? Would it have gotten the same notoriety with us? Or what if Maya Angelou or Mark Angelo? Would he have gotten as far as Maya got? These are pertinent questions we need to ask ourselves. Why are we uncomfortable with a man crying or showing sad emotion? Why is a little black boy who was hit in the arm and cries told to be a man? What does that mean anyway, to be a man? What would an 8-year-old boy know about being a man? According to a video I watched, and I'm not mentioning any names, black men aren't worthy of respect because they don't provide as much as men of other ethnicities do. I need you to understand that this is a system. The system is set up to slightly benefit us while keeping black men in their place. Where's that place, you ask? Under the white man's boob. Think about it. If you have children and need assistance from the government, one of the first things they make sure of is that there is no man in the house. If there is a man in the house, you may get limited or no help at all. Social workers used to pop up at your house and look through your belongings to make sure that it was only you and your kids. Also, if the man was not in your house but worked and you got assistance, they made the man pay for it through child support. So while you're getting checks and food stamps and medical insurance, it was the man, the father, that paid for it. A lot of you may say either good or they should pay, and you're right, a father should pay for his children. But if they can't pay support due to them being out of work or for whatever reason, what will the law do? Take his license away, which impedes him from getting to work, or put him in jail. So let me get this right. The system will take a man's ability to get to work or put him in jail so he can't work. But you want his money. It just sounds legit to me. I'm sorry. Again, I'm a product of a single family home. My brother had a father who was unwilling to pay for child support, so my mother filed on him. What do I say to that? Good. She needed to. So don't get me wrong. There are some black men who need this to happen to get them going to pay for their kids. But there are also many fathers willing to take care of their kids as well. There are even some who are willing to be the primary custodian of their kids. What about them? What about if that is the case, yet the law doesn't allow them to? What about them? I'm not here to denigrate the struggle of black women. I understand it, but I also understand that we've been allowed a bit of a come up. A white employer would rather hire a black woman than a black man because the black woman is much more controllable. We as black women understand that they hold the keys to the kingdom. They hold our paycheck hostage. And we will never be anything more than the outsiders who clean the temple. Or at least wear the temple. While we are there making sure that we can afford to eat and live, who's at home with the kids? If you married a black man who was working a great job at the time you got together and things have changed due to an illness or injury and now the primary breadwinner is you, but your man is a good man who holds down the home while you are out working, do you leave your man because it's too hard? If your man is a wonderful man and you made vows in sickness and health, do you leave your man for someone of another ethnicity who can buy you the world and takes you places and pays your bills? Thank you so much for listening to me. And to all of my honey badgers, keep your claws sharp, your hearts pure, and your minds clear.